Hello, everybody, and welcome to Azumi Game Devtober complete. We are done. It is done. I wanted to do this 2 days ago, get this final Devtober vlog out. However, uh, we all hung out on Halloween, got drunk, and yeah, so that was a thing. But okay, all right. I'm gonna level with you. Things are going pretty good. Things are getting closer to something that I can put in people's hands and have them play. Some stuff has happened. Some things are cool. Things have been tightened up, and yeah. So let me just level. Let me back up. 31 days. Technically 32 days now. Uh, Went from nothing to like a ton of functional gameplay. We have 300 lines of no 200 lines. Actually, how much is that? It's like 220 lines of logic from zero, nothing to that, in a month. We have players, animations, interactions and systems, tons of enemy design, enemy logic. A lot of stuff was built, so I'm happy with that. I would have liked to have gotten more graphically done, but I think that's probably polished that I should worry about later. I'm just a graphics guy, so I like making graphics. Graphics are cool. Because this level still looks really boring. I was starting making like an arena, like this bigger, like final level that I would work with, and it wasn't fun. It was not as fun. So I just went back and made the test area a little bigger. And I'm liking this. This feels fun to play in. And some significant last minute changes were added that's a little spit shine, a little extra juice. It gives it some good shit. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But I'm still on track to try and get something out by the 30th. Not the 30th, excuse me, the 8th. The 8th of November. So by the time you're watching this, 6 days. 6 days. Now, depending on the state of this, it's either going to go out to patrons first, or I might just do a public release if I can release this, get this done and shipped before the 8th. Because I want patrons, because they've been backing me, they've been, following this from the beginning. I want to give them some love for having the faith and putting the money where their mouths are. You know what I mean? So if I get this done exactly on the 8th, they will probably get a couple days to play with it before everybody else. If not, I release it publicly on the 8th, and everybody else get to play it from whenever I get everything wrapped up. What is going to be released on the 8th? I think the level will look pretty similar to this graphically. The layout could change, but I don't think I'm going to bother making final assets, because again, that won't affect the feel, the gameplay. That'll only be an aesthetic thing, and I would rather take my time and make a really good looking level than try and rush it in a couple days. So like I'll just have it be functional for now, for the 8th, and then I'll take some time to make a really cool looking aesthetic tile set and stuff to really make this scene pop. So it will look pretty much like this. I might add a little something. I'll probably also have some sort of title screen that like kicks you in. If I have time, I'm probably going to add a little corridor with a tutorial and stuff before you get into this little arena room. So how is it going to work is that you're going to have to kill 50 enemies, and then a goal will appear, you'll hit the goal, and that'll be the end of the little demo thing. It's not super complicated. The one gameplay thing left to build now is I need to have a logic set up that spawns enemies, so you keep getting 50. Because right now it's just turrets will spawn, the flyers will spawn, but these two guys have no spawn control. It's just whatever I have in the scene. When they're dead, they're dead. So I gotta build a whole new machine that spawns enemies. And I already kind of have that. I have systems in place to spawn flyers indefinitely, and I have a system in place to spawn turrets indefinitely. I just kind of have to extend that to also spawn these guys. And the way I envision it is that it's probably going to start with just a couple slimes. Then when you kill like 5 slimes, it'll open up the next level, and it'll start adding the flyers in it. Once you get to like 15 enemies killed, then it'll start bringing in turrets. And once you get to like maybe 25 or 30, that's when the big Oni brute guys will start bombing in, and then you're going to have all those guys to deal with. And then when you get to like 40, the numbers will increase. So now you get to like juggle more guys. So that's the only really gameplay thing left to add. Plus, I'm probably also going to have health recovery items of some sort. So enemies will randomly drop HP recovery when they die. The UI and the visuals are not going to change for this first release. Because again, I only have 6 days, and I don't want to rush it and make it look shit, because I'm going to have to remake it at that point anyways. I'm just going to keep it as is now, and I will focus on the 9th and forward with my weekly game dev updates I'll be doing after this on making something really good looking and professional and sexy and clean and good. So I just think that makes more sense. I'd rather spend the last couple of days tightening gameplay and squishing bugs than desperately trying to throw together some visuals that I won't like at the end of the day anyways. So, gameplay tweaks that have been added so far. Let's jump in and look at those. So I'm going to hit preview. We're going to open this up. So, a couple big things have been added that change things up. The first one is probably the most unseeable. But the first thing it tells, I made the wind up on his attack longer, so it's not totally unfair when he tries to attack you. First thing, shurikens in the air now, which makes sense, makes the flyers easier to deal with. Another thing that's very hard to see, because it's very minor, is there's a little bit of hit stop now when you hit guys. It's like 1/10 of a second, it's not a lot, but it's enough to make that combat feel a little bit better. And I actually did that on stream. I did a game dev stream on IM Games, and people seem to be into it, so I might do more of those. Okay, so another big thing is you can see everything's higher up now. So what we've done to compensate for the higher up, we got double jumps. So double jumps are a cool thing, and double jumps combined with the dodge give you so much aerial maneuverability now. You can cross this entire stage. Jump, dash, jump, dash. You can get from one side to the other. And like, is it broken? Probably. Will I have to tweak it later? Probably. Does it feel fucking sick right now? You bet. So I'm really, rule of cool is the guiding principle of Izumi in general. And speaking of rule of cool, once you hit all 50 guys, I want to have like a cool little extra animation. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you how that works right now, because I have it set up on these turret guys. And it happens with every turret, but it'll only be the 50th guy you beat in the actual version. As I kill myself. I was like, I only have 1 hit left. I really hope I don't accidentally crash into that guy and it ruins my big reveal. And it did. Because I'm bad at my own game. Alright, so the turret spawned over there. So we're gonna jump up here. We're gonna jump, dash. Yeah! So we got this cool little cutscene where it slows down and zooms in on the last guy you kill. So I can add little flourishes like that because I know how to control the view and stuff now. So we can do cool things like that. I might even have like other slowdowns if you like do a really good dodge on a big enemy or something. So there's a lot of potential there for making things even cooler. But yeah. That's sick. So double jumps, air shurikens, we got way more dash potential, a lot more aerial stuff. Like the whole thing, like the guiding principle, because I was talking about this, someone was asking like what's your USP, your unique selling proposition for the game. And my favorite thing about video games is flow. I like having a good feel of motion. I like being able to just like move fast, move freely, go where I want to go, and just like fuck shit up nice and good. So I want to make sure that's good. I think double jump helps that a lot. Yeah, I'm about it. I like it. Everything's good. So we're just gonna patch up what we got now and ship it, and then things will start changing when you guys tell me what works and what doesn't work. So there's a ton of ideas I have. Like there's tons of stuff I was gonna have in the game that I didn't add already that I knew I was gonna be too big for the time frame. And those are going to start being added in. Like other combination attacks other than this 3-hit combo, that was one of the things I wanted to do. More power-ups, like different move sets. Like a whole entire crouch state that did other stuff was what I was interested in too. God, what else? There's just a lot. There's a lot of things I wanted to add that just didn't make sense for the time I had. So between like tweaks you guys suggest and other features that were supposed to be there from the beginning, it's gonna be crazy going forward. And then obviously like making, fucking levels and stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We got a bigger arena and probably we'll add some jump through platforms to kind of not make everything mandatory, because like people aren't gonna know right off the get go like, oh, you can like dodge into your jumps and like get up to those platforms. So I should make it easier for people who don't get it, man, who don't understand. Gotta make it for the noobs. So yeah, that's where we're at, and I'm pretty happy for a month of where everything ended up. Don't have a lot to complain about. You can see another thing is like that square. I'm gonna add another big puff of smoke when you land to sell the impact a bit more. I did talk about that like I think 2 weeks ago. Something I wanted to add. I added the logic for it, but I don't have a cloud drawn for it, so I'm probably just gonna disable that. I'll add it later. Again, not gonna add too much more in terms of graphics. But yeah, hits feel pretty good now. A little bit of hit stun's nice. That feels really cool. I actually was inspired from DMC Devil May Cry to make that, because that's what happens when you kill the last guy in an encounter in DMC. Like, the camera comes in nice and close, gives a little bit of like offset, and it really highlights that last hit. So I want to do something kind of like that because it feels fucking good. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's 7:30 a.m. and I should probably sleep. So talk to you guys. Shit. Probably on the 8th is when I'll do another one of these, because Devtober is technically over. Well, no, fuck it. I'll just keep doing daily until release. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.